Welcome back to episode 4 of converting my Fiat Scudo into a livable camper van. So it's a work evening, so I've only got about an hour of sunlight left, but I've got some 6mm ply and the original plastic designs that came with my van, and I've made a couple of adjustments to the bigger ones as I've added like over an inch of insulation. It was too long at the bottom. But yeah, I'm ready to cut them out. I've measured twice and everything, made sure they fit. The ones at the bottom side door cards, they're really perfect already. But yeah, the bigger one needed a bit of an adjustment. So I'm ready now to mark it out and then get jigsawing. So yeah, that's now me marker penning the design down. I think I really maximise the space as much as I can, and I think I'm going to have some form of carpet on top anyway, so it'll hide like my marking. If you've not seen the previous episode, I don't really own like a pair of workbenches or anything, but we have these banisters in the front of where I live, and also got one single workmate, so that's propping up the middle with a brick. Probably not the way you're supposed to do this, but it's worked for everything else so far, so why not this? So this is the back right panelling out of 6mm ply, and I think the fit's pretty decent. I do have to bend it a little bit to fit the shape, but that was always going to happen. So I marked out where all the places I need to screw, and I've got some self-drilling screws. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with it. Obviously, stuff like that, the bubble insulation is overhanging, so I'm going to be putting carpet or some form of like wood effect or wood slats on top. Haven't quite decided yet, but yeah, that should be hidden basically. I was just using the old bit as a template. I didn't really notice, but this bit on the template didn't quite follow the wheel, so I didn't film the rest of last night as I was getting very frustrated with the drill bits. I've got that standard Bosch drill set that everyone gets off Amazon for like £20. And trying to drill through this wood into the metal, I broke a 3mm, a 3.5mm and a 4mm one, and then my dad had the same one spare in his like set. So we broke like 6 drill bits, and we only managed to drill like these 4 holes and use the self-drilling screws. They were not self-drilling in the slightest. I went to B&Q today and I got a better drill bit. This is like carbon titanium something or other. It's meant to be like the best for drilling into metal. They were like $4.50 each, so yeah, I was like, they better be. And I also got some slightly longer screws, as the ones at the bottom and the middle beam, I think there was obviously some slightly more gap between the wood and the metal. The 20mm just wasn't cutting it, so I got 25mm, and I got some, I think the 32mm ones as backup, but I don't think I'll need them. But yeah, so I managed to get one panel installed now. There's like an extra drill hole that I got in the wrong place. I mean, I copied the exact same bit that came out of it, but maybe it's not quite in the same place, so I had to go a little bit higher. And I added an additional one down the bottom because I didn't like that it was flapping. But yeah, it's fairly sturdy, to be fair. And yeah, I'll cover it with something else at some point. But yeah, now I just need to do something to this. The problem last time was I was trying to cut out the shape out of the entire sheet, and I was losing rigidity in like so many different places. So this time I'm only cutting out one shape. I'm just going to cut the board, and then like it's a lot easier to work from that smaller bit. Yeah, that one was not too bad. The new drill bit did absolutely wonders. I've used a couple of different screws. So where I made like a bigger hole, I used the shorter screw at the top because it's right next to the metal. But then further down it seems to be further away, so I've used the longer ones. But yeah, that was so much easier than the other one. And like, that's a really, really good fit around the wheel. To be fair, both are. But I like this one even more because it follows it down both sides really well. And then, well, hopefully it'll be really good to carpet. I'm presuming I'll need to do some more platform. I think my bed's going to come to about here, so I'm going to have to cover it in some way. But yeah, that's a good evening's work so far. So it is the weekend again, and it is such a warm weekend. It's like 20 degrees outside. It feels even warmer inside this metal box. But this morning I've been refining the shapes for the lower door cards, They weren't quite fitting around the handle. I think that's because the old ones were plastic and they had like a bit of flex to them, whereas these are a bit more solid. So I had to take out a few millimeters around each side. And then I've insulated this bit up here. I've been in while I've been having lunch as what I want to do with the walls. I think I've decided, so this is the passenger side of the vehicle as you look at it, and that's where I'm gonna have the bed. I think I want this all to be carpeted for like comfort, like if I roll over and hit the wall, it's just a bit softer. For the rest of the day, I need to start insulating the lower door cards. I've got loads of solid stuff left and some fluffy stuff as well, so I'm just going to cut some of that off and stick it in. So it's an exceedingly hot day. I managed to fit a load of insulation in there, then put the bubble wrap insulation stuff on top, and then sealed that all up. So the next job is now to screw this panel in. Originally I'd marked out the original holes because it had panel clips so you could take it off, but I've sealed it all up, so I'm not sure that's much use. Maybe I shouldn't have sealed it up because there are electrics behind. But yeah, I'm just going to drill it into the metal using, my dad's let me borrow his more powerful drill, and then I've got a cheapy impact driver as well, so I don't have to swap the bits over and over. So, yeah, let's go with that. So yeah, that's all screwed in. I've got like 12 screws holding that in, and behind it there are 2 layers of the 25mm Celoflex, which I've sprayed on with some expanding foam, and then I've put some of the recycled plastic insulation in the slightly harder to reach areas, and I've put more of that down the bottom as well because yeah, it's kind of like curved so you can't get the right shape. And then there's some expanding foam to join everything together. But yeah, so that should be nice and warm with the reflecting on top to hopefully keep all the heat in.